It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Meloni.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Catch this show on weekdays here at 8 a.m. on 1250 WHNZ as I'm talking to different business owners, entrepreneurs, political leaders in and around the Tampa Bay region, and invite you over to my website to learn more about this show as well and catch up on all the past guests as well as past shows. Just head over to tampabayradio.com. Also, you can now interact with the show as well. Got a chat feature on the website. As you go into the homepage down in the bottom right, there'll be a message box. So feel free to shoot over any questions that you might have for myself or my guests. If we can't get to them, we'll definitely address them off the air as well. Again, just head over to tampabayradio.com. Got two great guests planned for you today. On the second part of the show, we're going to be hearing from Jim Yeager with the Remodeler's Corner in here every Thursdays at 8:30. He'll be checking in, talking to us a little bit about what's going on in his business and the construction industry. And also here on the first half of the show, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my first guest, Kimberly Wilson, who is an advocate for education focused on empowering parents and also an industry thought leader. She is the Director of Innovation at Lutz Learning Center, which is a school for accelerated education for children as young as age 2 and growing all the way through 8th grade. Kimberly, welcome to the show today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit more about your story.
My story actually began before I had any say in the matter. As a toddler, my very well-educated mother couldn't find what she felt was high-quality learning environment for me. And so she was looking for a good place to trust with my early education. That being said, when she couldn't find it, she had to build it herself. So from 1979, and in 1979, she built our school from the ground up. Here we are 3.5 decades later, and our family business has evolved into a school of the future. And we are dedicated to maximizing education and reaching limitless potential.
Okay, so the Lutz Learning Center is a private school up in Lutz, correct? And this is a family-owned business?
It is.
Okay, and you are the second generation of the business?
I am.
Oh, very nice. And it give me the breakdown of the school again. You start with children as young as age 2?
Age 2.
Wow, what do you, and I'm not an educational expert, so I think I'm going to learn a lot today because I don't have any children and stuff. I mean, at age 2, what are you teaching them at age 2 in this school?
Readiness skills, getting ready to learn. My daughter is about to turn 2, and obviously she's in the program, so I kind of snuck her in. But she's working on alphabet recognition, knowing her phonetics. She can spell her whole little name out loud and sing the ABCs. I got a video of that on my phone.
Yeah, I got the pleasure of spending the afternoon with Kimberly up at the Lutz Learning Center a few weeks ago, and it's a very nice school. A lot of innovation going on in the school as well. Now, let's talk a little bit about school choice. We hear a lot about that in the news and everything. So tell me, what is going on with school choice in the community right now?
Right now in Tallahassee, our legislators are working to unlock school choice. School choice is a parent's opportunity to choose their child's education. So there are about 6 different options a parent has right now. You can choose from private school, you can choose from public school, you can choose from charter school, magnet school, virtual school, homeschool. But that being said, there are only about 3 options that are funded by the state. The other choices that a parent has, they have to fund themselves. So by unlocking school choice, you could potentially increase a parent's opportunity to make a decision for their child. So it's a really beautiful thing. It puts the responsibility of education back where it belongs, which is in the parent's hand. It turns the parent into, or returns the role of the parent as an advocate for their child.
Now, you're a big fan of education. Why is, do you feel school choice is, so relevant to small business?
Business, as we know, small business, is the lifeblood of our economy. Education is that pivotal element in determining whether we're going to succeed or fail in the global economy. Right now, without a highly skilled workforce in our future, American business has no chance. So education is, unfortunately, highly political, and almost all discussions that are regarding education come back to the funding. So education, really, it's not about money, it's not about politics, and it's certainly not a one-size-fits-all hat.
This is my big issue with the school system is that we spend 4 years with teaching or learning English and history and all these things, and I haven't used like so many of those skills and stuff. And I've gone into my early 20s and got out into the real world. And I realized I didn't really know the basics of, living in the society. I didn't know how to buy a house, or didn't know how to buy a car. I didn't know what it meant to be upside down on something. And, I think that these are some of the things that we need to be teaching in our educational systems, how to, live life, how to run a business. And I'm not talking about, at the CEO level, but just basic stuff about home ownership and business and things like that. Is that something that your school offers? And also give me your input on what you believe with that.
Our school is big into project-based learning, and this is something that really is not new. Aristotle can quote project-based learning, and he believed very firmly that you had to be involved in order to actively gain that education. But the way that our school is different is that we have a hands-on learning philosophy. We know that the children learn best when they're fully engaged and totally immersed in the learning process. When you're educating through play, exploration, with a project-based approach, you can just unlock so many things because the children are actively engaged and involved in every moment of the learning process. It's no longer a preach to teach skill.
Yeah. One thing I would, I've always advocated for is that I think that beginning in like ninth grade or something, or when you come into high school, you should be given some type of, mock, job, some type of mock account, some type of financial system to understand that, okay, now you got to go, find a place to live. Okay. You understand what it means to, put out money for rent and deposits and things of that nature. Okay. Now you bought the house. Now you got to buy furniture for the house. You understand, well, now, I've lost my job. What do I do? These are the types of real world situations that I wish we would see more in our educational systems that we do not. I mean, I still remember, things from Hamlet and the Oedipus complex, and I've never once used the Oedipus complex from Hamlet in any of my business negotiations. People are probably like, what is the Oedipus complex? I won't get into that right now. But
go Twitter, go.
But nonetheless, we need to have, I think, more real world experience in our school system and everything. So tell me some ways in which the Lutz Learning Center differs from the public school systems right now.
One of our biggest differences is that we have true developmental placement. Children join their classes, whether it's preschool, kindergarten, first grade, second grade. We're not looking at that specific bracket. We're looking at the child based on their experience, their academic understandings, and their social emotional level. And what that means is their readiness. Where do they actively belong? And if you think about it like a high-rise building, and you work on the ground floor or the second story, with us, you can move to the fourth story to go talk to the accountant department. You can scale yourself up or down based on what your need is. And so even though a child is maybe in second grade, they're not handed the canned curriculum and said to them that this is all you're going to achieve for this year. So now that you're at the top, there's no place to go. It is, for us, you're gonna continue moving up and down that scale. So it's just a real logical and sensical way to go. And you talk about wanting skills, and you wish that you, Jamie, had been prepared more throughout your school. One of the neat projects that we did actually last year, and my daughter was heavily involved because obviously my children are in the program, she was given an account and offered the opportunity, I think she had $100,000 to invest that money within the stock market. Mm-hmm. And she did all of her research, and she bought, I think, Target and Disney and all of those other lovely things that a 9-year-old would buy. Mm-hmm. And she told me, Mommy, I've been researching this account, and I think that you should spend some money on Twitter. And don't worry, it's not going to do what Facebook did. And I'm like, are you serious right now? Tell me again, what did Facebook do? And she was on the edge of all of that and highly involved with it. And I think that's what really makes the difference.
Very nice. Now, the Lutz Learning Center, you've referred to it as the school of the future, but you're adamant that this is not a new concept. Explain this to me.
Sure. We're looking at the individual child, and we're doing what's right for the individual child. And that's said a lot, but kind of unheard of. It really is It's always been the cutting edge. There's a lot of trends in education, just like there's trends within health. You know, should you drink coffee? Yes, you should drink coffee. No, you shouldn't drink coffee. Yes, you should drink red wine. No, you shouldn't drink red wine. Should we have eggs or just egg whites? It goes through a revolving process about what's right and what's not right. When at the end of the day, the best method is to look at the individual child and make a plan for that individual and their success. And that's why our model is so futuristic, because we're looking at the individual and making a plan for them.
Now, you talk about the no ceiling approach to your learning center. Tell us a little bit more about what you mean by the no ceiling approach.
No ceiling means that if we have a second grader that's ready to do sixth grade math skills, let's give them sixth grade math skills. If you're rocking and ready to read, let's give you those reading skills. Let's push you up into the chapter books. And we believe it takes a village to raise a child as well, so we involve our parents very strongly. I think that one of our recent field trips that we went on to the Museum of Science and Industry, we had about as many parent volunteers as we did children, so we had a 1-to-1 student ratio, and it was a wonderful time because parents can be actively involved in their child's education.
And you have a very hands-on learning philosophy at your school. Elaborate a little bit more on this for the audience again.
Hands-on learning is about engagement. You know, let's get the children involved. Let's introduce concepts. Let's take it to the limit. Our school manager, Mr. Jeremy, is a big bike enthusiast. He builds bicycles in his spare time. And he brought in a bicycle, and the children learning all about how things work and gears and simple machines and levers and centrifugal force. The children built a bicycle. Okay, super cool. Let's build a bike at school. Let's learn about these concepts. And now tomorrow they're going on a wonderful field trip to Lettuce Lake Park, and they're going to do some pre-research on birds and mammalian life and also take their bikes to school. Okay, are you engaged in paying attention to school when you're bringing your bike with you to drop it off for your bike field trips to learn about centrifugal force?
Right.
You know, raise your hand. Yes,
right.
I am.
Right. Well, that's a great. I mean, and that's good that you're getting people out, or the children out, and into these real world type experiences like building a bike, and you're not just focused on, you know, the I guess the computer era and stuff where you got everybody on a computer and an iPad or something and stuff. So I mean, at your school, I mean, you're getting them involved in a lot more than just, you know, in classroom type of stuff with the build a bike type of project.
Absolutely.
Do you have other projects similar to that you can share with the audience as well?
We are about to launch our wax museum. So being that in January we're learning about how things work, we are studying different inventors. And so each child has now chosen an inventor in our upper level, which is 4th through 6th grade, and they're going to research that inventor and bring to life a real life wax museum. So the children come in dressed up like Wilbur Wright, Amelia Earhart, and they are in costume, and they've built their billboard behind them that talks about the information, and it's so cute because they come in, they have their spiel, you push a little button on the floor, and they go forward with all of their information, but they're studying timelines and how things work, and they're learning the research process and how to write about a bibliography and all of those things that are so important, but there's meat behind what they're doing and why they're doing it. So it gives them value. It's not that you need to write an essay. It's that you need to research this information to bring this to life.
Very nice. Got to take a quick break, but if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit accessreverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours. Cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
This report is brought to you by Preparation H.
Get effective relief from the burning and itching of hemorrhoids with Preparation H medicated wipes for women. Created by the #1 doctor-recommended OTC brand, Preparation H medicated wipes for women are infused with refreshing cucumber, chamomile, and aloe. Use as directed.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
A stop-and-go ride continues on the Veterans Expressway from Hutchinson all the way down to Waters because of an earlier crash that's still off to the left side. Also seeing a very heavy delay on 275 southbound from Beers Avenue down towards Hillsborough Avenue. And we still have a crash on I-75 southbound approaching I-4, but it's all off to the side. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
The skies will start to clear and we'll see a high of around 67 today. Tonight, fair and cooler, a low of 52. Tomorrow, just a slight chance of rain, right around 20% with a high of 68.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, you can catch the show on here weekdays at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. And also, you can learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, please feel free to connect with me on all the social networking sites, including Facebook.com/That Business Show. And also, I'm over on Twitter under the handle Jamie_Meloni. Currently talking with Kimberly Wilson, Director of Innovation, second generation lady at the Lutz Learning Center, family run business in Lutz. And also, she is the author of The Right Preschool, a book about the behind the scenes from an industry insider. But we were talking off the air, what you were saying just a minute ago about how you think the public school system is a monopoly. And so explain this a little bit more for so I can understand this.
Okay, so I am very much immersed inside of the industry, so I have to apologize as I get up on my soapbox and get going. So obviously I'm an advocate for education, and I believe strongly that parents deserve the opportunity to control their child's education. We've taken the role away from parents. They have to kind of follow the channel in which we have set for them through government. And I believe that a parent should have the right to make whatever choice is the best, because education isn't a one-size-fits-all hat. And I am very much an advocate for the children that are at the top, because we find that gifted children, they've achieved, you're good to go, just sit up here at the top. We need to address the needs of that lower level. Matthew Ladner wrote wrote an article on Facing the Strain, and it just came out in 2015. And I said amen the entire time that I read this publication, because it's talking about things that are coming. And so I want to really speak to small business and implore with them the importance of school choice. As our generation of baby boomers began to reach the age where they're retiring, it's the numbers are incredible. It's like 10,000 people a day are retiring right now. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. And we also have this massive influx of the new generation. Well, people on either side of our generation, Jamie, mm-hmm. have to support that. We are those taxpayers that support both public health and retirement, as well as education. We are going to be unable to support the amount of people retiring and coming in if we don't make a real innovative economical change within our education. And I believe that unlocking the monopoly on education to allow more innovation is the answer to supporting our economy and our state.
One of the things I've always said, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I've always been of the thought that public school is the best place to go for a child, because I think not only do you learn, basic education, but you learn what it is to interact with people of all, races, all different levels of income, from, poor up to the rich and everything. And if you go to a private school, you kind of get a structured or a sheltered or, a real world environment. And so I think you kind of learn more life skills in a public school, which I think are also very pertinent to the real world. Am I wrong? And tell me what you think about this.
I'm so glad you said that. I think it's a common misconception. Private school has this stigma to it and it's viewed very similar to exactly what you're saying. I can tell you that the opportunity should be the parent's choice to choose what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. If you're a shy, quiet, good child, you may find that you just get left out in public school because you're not a rule breaker, you're not taking the bull by the horns. What does that child do who has accomplished so much? Concepts come quickly for them, and they eat up all of the curriculum, and they put their pencil down and fold their hands on their desk. Are their needs going to be met?
I don't know.
And I don't know either. So my message is, I believe it's a parent's right to choose what's going to be the best for that child, and to look at that child and each and every child as an individual. Not all children are set up to be successful in the environment that's put forth by the government for them. Many children thrive within that homeschool environment. Many children thrive within a virtual school environment. So my message really is, hey, let's look at the individual and put it out there for them to make that choice.
Okay. Now, you're also the author of The Right Preschool, Behind the Scenes from an Industry Insider. Tell me a little bit more about this book, and also what it means to, some of the ideas that you have when choosing the right preschool.
So many times I get calls within my position as the Director of Innovation at Lutz Learning Center to try to find out from me information that they need to know. And oftentimes I take first-time parents, first child, and they're looking for, okay, I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to be asking you, but I feel like I should be asking you a lot of questions. And so my goal with this book was to really roll out a checklist for those type AAA personalities, which I identify with, to help them make the right choice for them. There's a lot of hype out there, a lot of marketing. How do you get past the marketing and make a decision on, will this school be the best fit for my child? Again, I'm an advocate for early education. I believe, hey, let's give them everything we possibly can as early on, so that when they're ready to receive that information, that it's there and waiting for them. And so this book, my goal was to help parents know everything they need to know to make the very best decision.
What are some of the things that parents need to be looking at, just broadly speaking, when choosing a preschool? What are some of the first things that you would recommend that a parent should be looking at?
Okay, here's one of the biggest misconceptions. Make sure that it's, as parents, we like clean and tidy and new and shiny. We're looking for a car. Make sure you're not car shopping when you're looking for a preschool. You don't necessarily want the cleanest, the tidiest, the newest, because it's like a knight in shining armor. You don't want a knight in shining armor. He's never been to war. You want a classroom that looks loved. You want it to be clean. You want to be able to, it needs to smell phenomenal. It needs to look like there's a method to the madness. But peace and quiet has no business in a preschool classroom. You want to see activity, you want to see engagement, you want to see warmth, you want to see fun. The other thing is paper. Children don't learn by filling out paper. They don't do paperwork, so you don't want to see dittos. You want to see hands-on. You want to see fine motor skills coming through Play-Doh and arts and crafts and glue. You want to make sure that the materials that you're seeing when you're looking on the walls at all of their art projects, you want to see that that's process and not product-driven. You want to see crooked P's and crisscross T's and undotted I's, because you want to see that is something that the children have actively done themselves without a teacher holding and guiding their hand to formalize that process.
Now, where is your book available for people that are interested in reading, again, The Right to Preschool?
It will be available on Amazon, and then I'm also planning my book launch for sometime in mid-April. You can follow me on at tweet_Kimberly on Twitter, or check out my website, which is KimberlyKWilson.com. Check out the school, LutzLearning.com. Follow us on Facebook, which is, look for Lutz Learning on Facebook to follow right along, because we're going to have a massive book launch party, and it's going to be kid-friendly.
And also for parents that are interested in the center and learning more, do you offer a guided tour, things of that nature?
Oh, I love to give tours. That's you and I enjoyed a fantastic lunch, because
yes.
We have the chef.
Yes, you have a private chef there.
We do.
It's a very good nutrition program up there. So
we believe healthy bodies. It takes a healthy body to get a healthy mind. So we have a whole food philosophy. We try really hard to steer towards as much organic as we can and infuse fruits and vegetables. Everything we do.
All right, people, we got to take another quick break, but coming back from the break, we're going to be hearing from Jim Yeager with Yeager Flooring, and you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni.
Front and center.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring. although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tile, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Offer good on selected window treatments for a limited time. Minimum purchase required. Ask for details.
Hello? Hi, Stacy. It's your sister. Listen, could you, trade houses with me? What? Yeah, trade houses. Jim wants to have his new boss over, and your house is so beautiful with those new drapes from Budget Blinds, and we really want to impress him.
Call Budget Blinds and have your own house done. Right now, you can save hundreds of dollars on your custom window coverings.
Wow! Do they still give you a free design consultation and measure and install the window treatments for you?
Yes, and they give you their no questions asked warranty.
Gotta go. I'm calling now.
It's the Budget Blinds Window Fashions Blowout Sale event with very stylish savings. Your style consultant will tell you how you can save hundreds of dollars on a huge selection of window coverings. Call 1-800-260-8939 now to get a free in-home design consultation and save. Hurry, sale ends soon. Call 1-800-260-8939. That's 1-800-260-8939.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
Looking for a way to increase your business? Ever thought about advertising on radio? iHeartMedia can customize a campaign to meet your specific needs. Call 844-BUY-RADIO. That's 844-BUY-RADIO. Or go to iHeartMedia.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We are still seeing delays on 275 southbound from Pierce Avenue towards Bush Boulevard. Southbound delays on the Veterans Expressway from Ehrlich to Waters. And we still have a crash reported on I-75 southbound approaching I-4, but it's all off to the side. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
1250 winds, Weather Center forecast. Still a slight chance of some stray showers, even a storm. See cloud cover move back in mid-morning into the early afternoon, then a bit of more sunshine pop up. The highs today in the mid-60s. Low tonight, low 50s. Impact Radio, 1250 winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, you'll find the show here on weekdays at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. And also, I'd like to extend an invite to any and all business owners and community leaders in the Tampa Bay region. Love to hear from you. If interested in coming in to the show to talk with me a little bit about your business, feel free to shoot me an email. Jamie at tampabayradio.com is the best way to get me. Jamie at tampabayradio.com. Also, you can head over to my website, which is tampabayradio.com, and learn more about the show as well. And also, please feel free to connect with me on all the social networking sites, facebook.com/thatbusinessshow, and under the handle Twitter at Jamie_Meloni. Go ahead and bring on our second guest for the show, Jim Yeager of the Remodeler's Corner, a weekly feature here at 8:30 every Thursdays here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni. Jim Yeager has 42 years of experience in floor covering and home remodeling. Yeager & Company is now celebrating its founding 70 years later and appears in multiple categories for the past 7 years by Angie's List Super Service Award. Jim, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Jamie. Thanks for letting me come on here this morning and talk with you.
Yeah, you're usually in studio today. I know you had a little bit of a hiccup today. Is everything all right? I think I said your wife has had in a surgery today, so hopefully everything's all right with her.
It was yesterday, and give Susan a shout out that she's doing good, and make sure that when you're young and growing up that you use sunblock. So
well,
down here. So
yeah, absolutely, good point. So Jim, introduce yourself to the audience and tell us first of all just a little bit more about Yeager & Company.
Sure. Well, thanks again for having me on this morning. We're located up in Odessa in the West Pasco Industrial Park. That's right off of Route 54, 2 miles west of Gun Highway. We are primarily a flooring company. That's our biggest calling, and that's where most our business comes from. Hardwood floors in particular, but not limited to hardwood floors. We do all sorts of different types of floors, carpeting, tile, laminate, the new LVT and LVP type products that are on the market. We do full remodeling, interior kitchens, baths, a lot of bathrooms. We have probably 15 or 16 homes right now with major bath remodels. And so we pretty much cover all the different things. You want to move a wall, you want to remove popcorn, you want to add crown molding, chair rail, baseboards, new doors, interior doors, pretty much anything interior. And then exterior, we do have painting crews for exterior painting, gutters, pavers, pretty much about anything, to the home we can handle. If we don't do it, we have other associates that work with us that are fully licensed and can also aid in any type of remodeling.
And a big selling point for your company is the fact that you have employees doing the work and that you're not subbing this out to subcontractors. Just explain a little bit about what I'm talking about here.
Sure. And as far as the construction remodel part, they are all employees, and they're paid by us. They're under our workman's comp, under our liability insurance. We do, however, have subs in the flooring installation. We always have, as well as our own guys. Most every sub has worked with us for at least 12 or 13 years. There are reasons in some of these fields that the subs tend to work out better for them. As long as they have either workman's comp or the waiver, they have liability insurance, which then goes along with our $2 million worth of insurance. Subs aren't necessarily a bad thing in any type of business. It's, if they're licensed, if they carry all the proper credentials, if their work is stellar, if they've been with us for over 10 years, that their work is good. So it's not always a bad thing for subs, but the big thing is to have a licensed contractor. I mean, that's the big critical part that you have to make sure of. And not only do they have the proper licensing, that they also have the liability insurance, and not just a certificate handed to the homeowner, but one that endorses them on the bottom with their name spelled out, their address spelled out, because if anything happens with regards to that insurance being dropped or canceled, there's instant notification, almost instant notification to that person they're doing work for that, hey, there's an issue there. There's something that needs to be looked at.
And we got to hear from I think he was one of your subs last week. I don't know if he was an employee. I think he was one of your subs. Oh, Charlie the plumber was on the. You got to get him in here a little bit more with you and everything. That was quite the entertaining segment we had last week. How's Charlie doing? Is he listening today?
I'm sure Charlie's listening in. I can't wait till we put on that live feature where they can call in. But Charlie, not a great American, obviously, and it's amazing. We're doing a job, water restoration, pipe broke in a toilet, and I've known this man. I put floors in his house, I think, 7 or 8 years ago, and unfortunately, they were out of town. They have a home in Washington State, and the daughter came over and just used the John in the master bath, and went home. Next day, came back in to do something, to tend to something, and the house is flooded by a $3 part behind the toilet. But Charlie went over to take a look after the insurance company was there, after the dry out was done. I had Charlie go over before we go putting all new floors in to make sure that the hodgepodge work that was done by the builder was corrected, so, God forbid that would ever happen again. But knowing the man, I knew he was a Southwest airline pilot, he was a pilot for all his career, but I didn't know that he was a Phantom jet fighter in Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
I think I'd seen his war wall, if you'll call it, that showed that he was a full bird colonel, but I had no idea to the extent of what this man has done, for our country. And Charlie said, "Never you mind, Jim, don't worry." He said, "I gave him a big hug and welcomed him back." So when I talked to my customer, Jim, he had said, "Yeah, that's Charlie." He said, "He's a great guy," and he was just thrilled with that experience. Plus, Charlie will get him squared away and working right, and it's just amazing. When Charlie goes out, he was at another one of our customers' houses that we're getting ready to do a large remodel for over in the West Chase area. And when he came back from that particular job here, that man was a POW in Vietnam. Again, I had no idea. It's just amazing that Charlie can bring, the these different things back, and prayed with the guy and Charlie. So we plan to have him as a regular on the show. Very, very good, Charlie Pelavita, and that's Charlie's Plumbing in Odessa.
Yeah, he was quite the character. He came in. You asked me if you could come in. You said, "Hey, can I bring my plumber in?" I thought, okay, it's going to be kind of a slow segment bringing in a plumber. No, it was quite an entertaining segment having him in here. He came in the studio and he goes, "Where are those 970 guys at?" And talking about Jack Harris and Ted Webb who do the morning show. And I was like, "Well, they're over there." He's like, "I want to talk to them." So I walked over there. I grabbed their show producer. And I said, "This is so." He's like, "I know who this guy is." Apparently, he calls them all the time and everything. So when they went on break, he went in. They shook hands with him and everything. So he's quite the radio superstar. So you'll probably hear from him quite often as well. So I appreciate you introducing him to me. He's quite the character.
Yeah, he's quite a character. And the importance of having the proper people to do the work. One of the things that I wanted to just take a minute and just, we were called on a job. It was last year, towards the mid or latter part of last year, for beautiful home out in Odessa, older home that was rehabbed, and local folks went in and bid this job out and did the job. Very high-end home, high-end parts, on a well, of course, in Odessa, out off in the backwoods there some, and they had all this different special type of plumbing that were put in. The kind of things you see on TV where the guy's singing on, for the shower parts, that it's like a car wash. They're hitting you in the back, the top, the sides, and what have you. And so the folks had this quite elaborate, very, very, very expensive, like $70,000 bathroom done. And when they went the very first time to turn on the water, it did come out, but it came out like drips because of all the pipes and all the different things. Just something as simple as knowing that you have to be on city water or a regular municipality water. It's not going to work off of a well. So to make matters even worse, the fact is, when it was turned on, it was only ever turned on like one or two times. Downstairs in this home, it's kind of like a split-level stilt house that's on one of the big lakes, Keystone, in Odessa. The water's running down through the ceiling of the lower floor, with all new floors that were installed, and just, you wouldn't believe it. But long story short, the plumbing wasn't done right to begin with. I mean, the whole job was a nightmare. But when the walls were opened up, the products were not waterproof. The backer boards, the stone, it was just an unbelievable, situation where it's ruining everything beneath, and the whole entire shower has to come apart. We ended up taking the whole bathroom, gutting it completely down because they never insulated behind the walls. There was just a real mess. But it all started with plumbing. Somebody went in and sold these folks tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff that never in a million years would have worked. I mean, it's just a question of, do you get a guy that knows what he's doing, that's licensed? I mean, that should have been caught at the time of the sale. And
so they were using a contractor that wasn't even licensed, or was it licensed, or he just wasn't qualified, so it wasn't even licensed?
No license, no permit, no nothing.
And tell the audience how they can easily, check for this type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Florida Biz, it should be on the website. You can go in and check in 2 minutes. Today we're so fortunate to have the Internet in the sense that you can go into any company and see if they're licensed, see if there's any claims against them. Angie's List, it's, a lot of people aren't not familiar with that service, but, I mean, there's not a better service there. As a matter of fact, I think I sent you an email yesterday that we finally got yesterday our different awards for 2014. And the reason that took the time that it did, because it's normally brought up in December of the actual year that the awards are given. This year, they had to verify that everybody did, in fact, have their license, that the license was in good standing, that it was to the company and not to somebody's brother or uncle, and that the insurance was there, and that the insurance had Angie's List listed as the additional insured. And it took all this time. I mean, we're almost into March, and so a lot of thinning out even there. Just because someone says they have it, don't believe it. Make sure, and then get references. If you don't have the ability to have an Angie's List, Better Business Bureau, we talked a little bit about that last week, that'll show you if there's any claims that are there, or that were there and fixed, or what have you. But I think there's not a better thing out there than Angie's List, Florida Biz, Department of Consumer Affairs. Word of mouth. Try to make sure, because no matter what the package, bringing the information, bringing the estimate, and what have you to you doesn't necessarily mean that is going to go the way that you want it to go.
Yeah, you have, I was looking at the email you sent me, you have 8 different categories for the Super Service Award, correct?
Yes. And again, that's 5% of the marketplace. And I don't know what anybody else has done in the town here in Tampa Bay, but I don't think there's really anybody that is even close to us in that. And again, they don't mean that even though you have this type of rating, doesn't mean there's not problems. Every job, guaranteed there's problems. Every job, guaranteed there's going to be things that are slow, things that weren't counted on. But it's all part of the process. I mean, the end result, we tell everybody the job takes as long as it takes to do it perfect. We won't even take a job that says it has to be done by the 12th. Now that's on remodel. That's on, heavy reconstruction of bathrooms and kitchens. Flooring, we're pretty much, we can tell you to the hour when that's going to be done. But as far as general construction goes, you never know what you're going to get into. And then most all companies, moderate-sized company, multi-million-dollar companies like ourselves, we have a lot of jobs. So if one slows up, it is going to affect the others. So we try to make sure that we let people know the expectations and the realization of what's going to happen in that job. But, on licensing and what have you, reputation, it's important. It's really important.
Yeah, no, what I'll tell, just for the public, I'll tell you what sets Yeager and Company apart, and Jim Yeager personally. I mean, you take the time to really talk to the clients. I was listening to you talk with one of the real estate agents in my office the other day, and I think you spent like an hour with her on the phone, and it wasn't even a job that you were probably going to get. I think she was asking for a second opinion from you, but you took the time to really explain everything to her, and I really think that's a testament to yourself and to your company as well.
Thanks. And it's important. I talk to a lot of people all day long. They come to us mostly from the Angie's List. Yesterday we had a fella, by the way, I passed your folks on to him, has $1 million+ home in Odessa. Yep, getting ready to sell the home. And had me go in, and the funny thing was, I knew the development. I live not even a half a mile away from it, in the poor side of town, not in $1 million home. But
right.
The fella's all his wood's popping up off the floor. He wants to sell the house. Magnificent home. I mean, magnificent until you look at the floor. I know the builder that did it. I know he's not in business anymore. I know what he's doing now, and it's just obvious. And we actually have another thing that we're working through with the same individual. But, they cheap out. Here's a guy that's going to have to spend $25,000, $30,000, or he's going to have to just tell the person coming in, I'll give you an allowance, to replace the floors. But it's a sin, because if you've seen this house, I mean, you see them all the time. I mean, it's magnificent. It's decked out. But the floors look like a corduroy pair of jeans, or pants. It's just, it's a shame. And, you definitely want to get qualified individuals, licensed, insured, and references. Again, Angie's List, you hear me talk about that all the time.
Now, hold that point, Jim. I got to take a quick commercial break here, but hold it on the line. We'll come back and talk with you here in just a little bit more. If you're just tuning in, you've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit accessreverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
This report is brought to you by the National Highway Safety Traffic Administration and the Ad Council. At highway speeds, the average text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds. That's enough time to travel the length of a football field. StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We now have reports of a crash on Bruce B. Downs near Fowler Avenue. We are seeing heavy delays in both directions on Bruce B. Downs. Still seeing a slow ride on 75 southbound approaching I-4 because of a crash that's all off to the right side. And heavy delays on 275 northbound from about the hump of the Howard Franklin to Kennedy. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Udelwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
The skies will start to clear and we'll see a high of around 67 today. Tonight, fair and cooler, a low of 52. Tomorrow, just a slight chance of rain, right around 20% with a high of 68.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, catch the show here on 1250 WHNZ weekdays at 8 a.m. and learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Currently talking with Jim Yeager of Yeager & Company with the Remodeler's Corner, a weekly feature here Thursdays at 8:30. And Jim, you were telling me you were up at a conference in Atlanta, flooring convention. Tell me a little bit about what you learned up there.
Sure. And, one of the new things that you see, actually not so new, but a lot of talk about is these new pet-proof type carpet products that are on the market. Smart Strand is one you hear a lot about, and one that you definitely want to blog and to hear what people have to say about it. All of us that are in the industry need to sell the products that they bring out, the new generations of yarn systems and these new different types of pet products. And, we've had a number of different jobs. I remember going to one in Brandon. A gentleman paid quite a lot of money for a particular product that was pet-proof, and the dog had a big German Shepherd, older dog, and had some issues and stuff, and had, used the carpet as the outside lawn. Right. And I remember going to look at it and obviously taking the report and looking and seeing, and I remember turning it into the manufacturer, and the manufacturer came back and said, well, the dog, urinated on the carpet. Mm-hmm. And, well, yes, it says, urine proof. Oh, no, well, that's only, if they do it on Tuesdays between 2 and 3 and they have a cleaning crew in within 3 minutes and blah, 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 blah. So a lot of these warranties, the good thing is, again, a lot of good things, a lot of bad things with the Internet, but one of the good things is that you can go in and you can check and see what people are saying. If you don't have Angie's List, look for blogs. You can go in and name any type of product that you see in any industry that there is. But one of the cool things was, and I've been in the business for a long time, as you know, third generation. The majority of our history, my dad's company and my grandfather's company, was carpeting. I mean, we did that exclusively when I was growing up as a kid. They didn't even at that time, other than maybe some sheet vinyl or what have you, but carpet was the big thing. So I've been to these shows since I was a kid, to New York and Atlanta. Most of them are out west nowadays, but the fact is there's always a rebirth or rebranding of something that, works minimally or not at all. So when I seen at the show in Atlanta this past week, this new product out from Shaw, it's called Lifeguard, and so Chemical makes the product, and it is a product that no moisture will come through. So even though it has nap and textures and looks like any other carpet, they had it up on a plastic kind of bucket, if you will, mm-hmm. and some dyed blue water. And you would put the water in, they made the carpet form like a ball, and the blue dye and water would not pass. It just rested in the carpet like a ball. So, for the first time I've seen something that you could actually say is pet-proof. What does pet-proof mean? If you have a regular carpet that a dog, urinates on, it's going to go through the carpet, through the backing, into the pad, down to the concrete subfloor. Cat, worse yet, obviously because of the odors and stuff.
Yeah, because then it gets in that subfloor there, and then you just can't get that odor out of the property very well. Yeah.
Yeah, not at all. But this one doesn't pass. So what that means is it's going to lay on the top till you can blot it out. I would think that you'd want to have like a Bissell cleaner that extracts it. But it is good if you can catch it at the top. Still being a nylon carpet, if you don't get that out of there right away, it's not going to... It's going to come back up. That color, that stain, or what have you is going to come back up. But if you can get it fast enough, meaning that it's got to be extracted, it can't be blotted, it has to be extracted. Because the other thing is, the dog can smell, urine, 1 part to 1,000,000 or whatever. So they're going to want to go back and spot usually in that area, or a cat, again, same or worse yet. So this one, as long as you can clean it out, a Bissell type cleaner that can extract, appears that it might be good for those that want something soft underfoot and, that have pets. 80% of the population have pets. So they do and are trying to find things that will work. And in the carpet end of things, this, new type carpet called Life Happens is going to be the thing that we believe will work the best.
Does it come clean very well too? I mean, it's not penetrating down to the subfloor, but how is it on stainage? I mean, does it come cleaner with cleaning products, or talk a little bit about that? What do you think about that?
Sure. The big thing is with carpet is, first of all, for any warranty, it doesn't matter, pet proof, Schmet proof, makes no difference. It has to be cleaned every 12 months by hot water extraction. So every 12 months, you're supposed to be cleaning the carpet anyway for any of these warranties to work. Nylon is the strongest yarn of any of those, but when it does have an accident, a stain, a spill, or what have you, it will come out, but it'll come back. We've all seen that, growing up, or we've been, anybody over the age of 20, 25 knows that stain's normally going to come back up. So with the things that we have at our disposal today, you should be able to, like with a $250 Bissell extractor, pull that out. The key is getting it out as soon as you can possibly get it out.
Yeah, the key then.
It sits.
Yes, I wasn't even more of that. I mean, you got to clean the carpets, every 12 months to keep the warranties, effective. Jim, we got about a minute left here, real quick, before we go off the air. Give out contact information for the audience, how they get in touch with you.
Sure, you can Google us at Jaeger Flooring, or it's jaegerflooring.com, and we're located again at 2310 Success Drive in Odessa, Florida. We are a shop-at-home company. We run a large fleet of pretty red and white trucks out on the street filled with samples. Come right to your door, measure, give you some ideas before we show you pretty and ooh and ah. We can help you with a budget and, hopefully make your remodeling job a lot easier and no surprises.
All right. Jim, thank you very much for checking in this week, and I hope have a great day, and we'll hear you again here next Thursday at 8:30.
Thanks, Jamie. Take care.
All right, Jim, take care. Again, that was Jim Jaeger of Jaeger & Company, and learn more about his company over at jaegerflooring.com. And also don't let the website name confuse you. They're also a general contracting firm specializing in remodeling and pretty much anything that you need with regards to the construction industry. And you can also catch their information over my website, tampabayradio.com. I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll catch you all back in here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.